Hello, my delicious co-creators. Lilou here. I'm on the beautiful island of Koh Phangan in Thailand, here on this outdoor bed next to a goddess. Oh my God, here we meet. I'm so delighted to meet you and get to know you. You're the author of Feminine Treasures.
Yes, and now it's called Tao Tantric Arts for Women. Coming out in the end of the spring.
Wonderful. And we're going to speak about the Jade Egg because I'm very interested about this practice. You speak a lot about it in the book. But let's first start with what's your view on this sacred sexuality, sensuality? Where do you think women are at right now, and why are they starving for this kind of information?
Women are so keen for this. We had a huge waiting list for our training, Sacred Femininity, because they're so hungry to access that creative energy and create a new reality for themselves. And you need that energy to actually make and manifest a new life. Yeah. Yes.
So there's a lot of let go in that process, huh?
Totally. We have to let go of all the old paradigms, and limiting ourselves and making ourselves small. So we use that energy to manifest our power, our internal power.
It really feels it's time to get the goddess out.
Yes, it's totally time.
It's always been here.
Yes, the time and the emergence of the divine feminine is really real. It's happening. It's in the air. It's all globally. It's everywhere.
So here you're creating circles of women and having all these practices and these process to open this up. But there's things that we can do on our own too, right? That we could speak about. The Jade Egg is one of them.
Yes, you can work on your own, and when you create your own inner world and bring out your own inner flower, that blossoming process, that softening process, then your family's going to feel it, and your community's going to feel it, and that vibration of the feminine will often soften all our hearts and open all our hearts, and we'll become more embodied, because the feminine is about the flow of energy in the body. Yeah, so often we've gotten much too high up in our head, and with goals and careers, and I've got to do this and I have to do that. But we just allowed ourselves to sink into the heart and sink into our sexual energy and feel our body and love our bodies. Yes, loving ourselves through the practice.
Unconditionally, and this is what are some of those barriers that women have to overcome, or what are some of the things that are mainly that it would be beautiful if we can all embrace that? I'm sure throughout all those rituals that you've seen, and you must have noticed quite a lot of blockages.
Totally. Often it's an unveiling of our self-judgment. Even if a woman is so beautiful, she judges her breasts, they're too small or they're too big, or my hips are too big, and starting to love and accept our bodies just as they are. Yes.
So the body and what we inherit are who we are as women in this world too.
We tend to inherit a lot of the programming from our parents and our ancestors. So a lot of that we have to dissolve for us to move forward. Yes. Yeah.
A lot of the water is important here. Obviously, we're here in Thailand, and there's the ocean all around. So the water helps to clear that.
The water helps us to move with gentleness and flow, and not just within our own body, but how we affect the world around us. And so it's an ability to receive the flow, receive from nature, breathe in the life force from nature. And that gives us so much more energy when we tap into an abundance of life force from everywhere. So many sources of energy. But we think we're just so limited, what we have personally.
I thought the Jade Egg was a Taoist practice, but your book is Tao Tantric Arts for Women. So I guess there's an overlap there, or?
Well, with Tantra, we're talking about the weaving of masculine and feminine. And that's in many, many traditions, also Tibetan. And the Tao, of course, we're working with yin and yang forces all the time, with polarities, and creating a new energy out of that. From masculine and feminine creates the inner sage. It comes that enlightened one within you is born out of that polarity of masculine and feminine. And in Tantra, that is the Shiva Shakti. So Shakti is the life force energy. This basically is sexual energy that moves through us, that feeds our emotions, that feeds our mind, feeds the body, everything. And Shiva is the consciousness. So it's what that controls the energy, what observes and follows the energy and controls it. But we don't want to control it too much because it has its own wisdom. Yeah. So we're marrying the Shiva and Shakti, we're marrying consciousness and energy with all our practices.
At what point did Jade Egg become something that would be interested to incorporate in the practices? Is it something quite advanced, or?
No, you can start right from the beginning. Yes, because, with the Jade Egg we program with love.
So, yeah, I want to speak about the whole practice.
With our intention, we put our intention into the egg, so it becomes a healing crystal. And it massages inside our body. So we get very familiar with our inner life, our inner energy. And that you can start right from the very beginning, But we first want to clean the uterus.
This is step number one.
Step number one is to clear out the emotions, because sexual energy is like an amplifier for our emotions. It's like putting gasoline on a fire. So if you're angry, you're passionately angry when you add the sexual energy into it. Yes. So some practice like the inner smile meditation, where you're embracing and accepting our negativity, and then it flips, it transforms into a more open and expanded emotion. For example, anger can be a tight fist, but then you soften it, you love it, you embrace it, and it opens into a caring, giving hand. But it's the same hand, right? So we have the ability to transform our own emotions. So that's very important, to work on an emotional level, to harmonize the emotions, and then we can bring the sexual energy into it and amplify the virtues and grow the virtues inside of us. To grow love. You can make love, but you can also make joy. You can make courage. You can make strength. So,
yeah. Beautiful. Yes. Step number one, you clear the emotions, and then what would happen there? You start putting your egg in the hot water, or there's another little ritual before?
Well, we start to clear the negative emotions out of our yoni itself, because in lovemaking, we're very receptive. And so we can draw in what's sometimes called gray sperm. So any negative emotions from our partners can go inside of us. Or in utero, with the negative emotions from our mother, for example, could go inside of us. And it kind of sinks down and hides in the uterus. So very important to clear the shadow side of the uterus and clean and clean and clean, and then reprogram with positive emotion, positive vibration.
What would be a sentence to reprogram?
Something to reprogram would be, for example, fear. If you clear out the layers of fear, then you can reprogram with gentleness and calmness.
You say, I reprogram. How do you voice it out?
Oh, so you voice it out. First you clean out the fear. And there's many, many layers. So when you clear one layer, another one reveals itself. And then you can rub your hands and get neutral energy. And then beam in blue light, like the blue of the water. And beam in peace, coming to peace with our sexuality. Come peace with ourself. Come to peace with our past. Yes?
That's a big one, yeah.
And when you have that very gentle energy, you're much more receptive. Yeah, to invite and be penetrated with love, because you're open to it. You're gentle with it. Gentle with yourself. Yeah.
And then? And then once that is done?
And once you feel like open and clear, I mean, we're not ever totally clear, but you can even do that process with the Jade Egg in. Okay. So you can clean out from the uterus into the egg, and then clean the egg like with salt water or ocean water, as a ritual. So we have many different rituals to purify the sexual energy. Yeah.
How do you use the egg in itself once it's inside? You push it all the way to the uterus, or you actually let it start to go up?
Well, first you like to massage. And so relaxing the yoni and the opening of the yoni, because you're really opening the door to your inner temple, your sacred temple. So really taking the time, because often women are being penetrated far too soon when they're not ready. Yeah. So you want to make sure you're really ready and you have a yes to the Jade Egg. And then you can spiral it in very gently. And I find the throat and the yoni are very connected. So when you make a sound, your throat opens, your yoni opens. Yes. And also the heart is very important. That is open before you put the Jade Egg in. So I always do breast massage first to open up the heart, And when the heart opens, the yoni opens. It's very natural to first do some breast massage, and then also all the hormones is going to be warmed up and ready for the jade egg. Yes.
And then once it's inside, does the vagina just suck it in for some of us?
Suck in, but I also use sound, like you can draw it in with sound and intention. And then I use the string a lot. So that equal force that you're pulling the string that is drawing up inside of you. Yes? And so the natural suction power, we go, yeah, your mouth goes, like you're going to kiss, and so your labia are very similar to your mouth. Actually, what your yoni becomes as articulate as your mouth is.
Very interesting. I love it. I'm learning so much here. Okay, with the mouth too.
Yeah.
And the sound.
Yes. And so we use a lot of sound, like you're singing with your yoni and toning. I call it yoni toning. Yes, using the sound. Because in lovemaking, you're using a lot of sound, right? We're constantly making sounds of pleasure. So incorporating that with the Jade Egg practice. Yes.
And, okay, so you're pulling on it.
You're pulling gently, and you can move your body around the egg, like in spiral your pelvis. And so your body's moving around the egg. And then it massages all the reflexology zones inside the yoni. So like
What are some of the zones? Tell us about so there is reflexology the same way than on a foot. It's actually
your hand or your ear. So within the part, there's the hole. So at the very opening, it's the kidneys. It's like a mini person. The bottom is like the kidneys, and then the middle of the yoni is the liver and the spleen, and up by the cervix is the heart and the lungs. Yes. So the deeper you're penetrating, the closer you are getting to the heart. Yes. And if your heart then opens, then the energy goes right up through the central channel all the way up to the crown. And so the yoni is the opening of that central channel in which all the chakras are lying. Yeah? Yes.
So you would pull it and then up to massage different zones. How do you actually get in touch with those different zones?
You can squeeze the 3 rings of muscles. So you can squeeze the lower, middle, and upper, and exhale down, and squeeze up, and down. And so you can squeeze it up rhythmically, and then pulling down. So
It can be pleasurable.
You can pleasurable, because sexual energy loves a rhythm. So you can go. So you squeeze up, and relax down. So it's as important, the relaxation of the yoni, as the squeezing. Yes, because you can overtone, and you don't want to have a tight ass, and you don't want to have a tight yoni either, right? You want to have an articulate, dancing yoni. Yes, so you can squeeze and release. Yes.
I hear there's some practices in the bathtub too with this, in the water, even in the ocean.
So a lot of the practices in my book actually were created in the bathtub. So I'd have a ritual practice every week, a bathtub bliss, I'd call it. And
Salted bath or?
In just a regular bath. I put essential oils in it and sometimes flowers. And so I would float in the water and let my hair move in the water. And then I'd pull the string as if like you're pulling a boat in the water. And the whole spine would move like a serpent, like a snake. And so that really, in a relaxed way, opens the Kundalini energy. And you let your neck go and all the tension go. And when you relax, the natural energy starts to flow beautifully in the body. Yes. And I know women love baths. So it's a great way to practice.
You can do that with partner? Can you partner for Jade Egg?
Yes, you can. So I sometimes call my partner in and have him pull the string. And so I totally surrender to whatever he's pulling, right? And so it's a wonderful practice to surrender and just follow. And
You try to hold it in, though.
No,
to keep the egg?
The yoni naturally grips and pulls when you pull the string. If you don't tug too hard. I call it tug of love. Yes, so there's a bit of a play there. Yes, yeah. Yes.
What are the benefits you would say? That there's the spiritual benefits, there is physical benefits, but can you tell us more on the sexual benefits and the spiritual benefits of the jade egg?
Well, the sexual benefits is that you have a toned yoni, so you can actually hug your partner's jade stock, and you can massage his jade stock very articulately because he's got also reflexology zones. So you can play with your yoni, yes, in a very musical way. And you can give your partner a full body orgasm with just playing his flute, and playing your internal flute with your energy, moving, exchanging energy. So your yoni becomes very sensitive to energy. You can feel what you're receiving and also send energy with your yoni. Yeah.
So that's good for sexual pleasures, more pleasure, bigger orgasm. Can we say that? Does that
the orgasm, because you're able to start to move the energy up to your heart, up to like fountains. The Taoists call the yoni the jade fountain. So when you squeeze the fountain, it moves up, and it opens the heart, it opens the mind. You can even send the energy out your crown and fill your whole auric field with orgasmic, blissful energy.
Could that facilitate uterus orgasms? Could that facilitate uterus?
Oh, uterus orgasm. Yes, because you can really feel the suction power of the yoni. You can feel that the chi that moves it through the cervix into the uterus, and into actually the whole central channel. Yes, so you're very in touch with the uterus because we do a lot of ovarian breathing with the energy, with the hands outside the ovaries. So you feel the aura pulsating alive in the ovaries and the uterus. Yes.
And on a spiritual level?
You need to be inside. You can play with the energy outside of the body.
And on a spiritual level, what are some of those benefits? Do we feel more into the sacred feminine? Like I feel when I'm wearing my jade egg just on a regular basis, like in life, walking or speaking in public, or else I feel more connected to the uterus and this sacred feminine.
Well, you get in touch with your creative power, which arises from your womb, which is the source of creative energy, right? You were born out of the womb, and with the same sexual energy, you're reborn into your spiritual bodies, your subtle bodies. They're so connected with that creative energy. It's like an unfolding from a cocoon into a butterfly, and all the rainbow pure colors of the spirit start to reveal themselves. The beauty of the spirit starts to be born through that practice. Yes.
Is it good for maybe manifesting also, or if we want to change our life or manifest a greater life? Is there some things related to the jade egg?
If you want to manifest, for example, a soul partner, or bring certain qualities out in your partner, you can put, let's say, integrity into your egg. I want to call on integrity, because that's the receptive part of your body. And so with the jade egg, you're calling that energy of integrity towards you.
You call a beloved too? To call in a beloved?
Beloved, totally. Yes, all those qualities that you adore and you long for, you can put in the egg. And then you call that towards you through the jade egg. Yes.
It's time to return to the goddesses.
Yes, totally. Yeah, there's so much. And you can also, if you have a question, a spiritual question in your life, like where am I heading? What's my next step? You can put that question into your jade egg and put it on your heart. You can blow some love into it. And then you can sleep with your jade egg. And in the morning, you most likely will have an answer from spirit.
There is different stones. I see jade or jadeite or serpentine or quartz or obsidian. Tell us about the different qualities of the one you prefer.
I prefer working with jade because jade is the quality of the wood element. And the wood element is what creates arousal, erection, passion, excites your creativity. And the wood element is the ascending energy. Yes, so I prefer that energy because it really helps to move the creative energy in the body. Obsidian is great for clearing the shadow. Because it's black, it absorbs negativity, and then you can clean the egg. afterwards. And rose quartz is wonderful for connecting your heart with the yoni. Yes, but it's much a more fragile crystal than jade. It's harder, it's stronger, and not so porous as the rose quartz. But for special rituals, very beautiful to work with other crystals.
And then you can vary the sizes too, I guess, no?
Yeah, I find a medium size is really good. If it's too small, you have to grip maybe too hard, But the big ones are heavier, of course, inside. But you're not inviting your muscles to grip so much. Yeah, so it makes more tone. I find the medium size than the bigger size. But whatever you're attracted to, your body knows. So your body, which one suits me, and then you just use your intuition, your feminine intuition, to choose the egg that's right for you.
Last little thing about your own journey, into discovering these Tao tantric practices. Where was that? Where are you from? How did this all happen?
I'm from Canada, and I had a retreat center for 20 years. So we worked with Taoist practices for those 20 years. And then I had a health crisis, and I worked very consciously with the sexual energy to boost my energy again and heal, very deep healing. I basically regrew my body. Get into a thriving state using sexual energy. Yes.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much for this delicious video here in Koh Phangan in Thailand. Thank you for this blessing. Last little word you want to say to all those delicious co-creators out there all around the world?
Your body, enjoy your energy, and don't leave your jade egg on your altar. Use it.
Every day.
Yes.
Every day, ladies.
21-day challenge.
Woo! Let's do 101. 100
Yes,
days.
yes.
Big kiss. Much love.
So much for this interview.
Thank you. Thank you for the beauty and your sensuality and all that. This is actually, this energy is coming out into the world. We're sharing it with even more people. I love that. This is impacting all of us. So thank you for opening up so well. Much love.
Much love. Bye-bye.
Bye.